Hello, and welcome to Hollywood Headlines. I'm your host, Michael Keehan, and on tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about the latest news in Hollywood, starting with the Super Bowl halftime show. Hollywood Headlines starts now. Before we get into the show, I would like to take a moment to thank Elijah Vargas for being today's guest. It's a moment we've all been waiting for. Earlier this month, West Coast hip-hop icon Kendrick Lamar hosted the Super Bowl halftime show at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Following his beef with Canadian rapper and singer Drake, Lamar took the stage to a crowd of 133 million, a number not seen since Michael Jackson's iconic performance in 1993. After an introduction from Samuel L. Jackson, Lamar performed a set primarily consisting of tracks from his G&X album, along with the iconic diss track Not Like Us. Multiple other guests appeared, most notably SZA joining Lamar to perform Luther and All the Stars. The longtime collaborators and former TDE label mates will team up again for the Grand National Tour, which kicks off in Minneapolis on April 19th. Elijah, did you see the halftime show?
Yeah, so I did see the halftime show. It was crazy. Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite artists of all time. I mean, I grew up in the 2010s. It's the time I started really getting into music. So he's kind of just become one of my favorite artists. And watching it, there are some minor complaints that I have about it. But overall, it was such a great experience. And seeing such a culturally relevant person being there when I think the Super Bowl has been defined by legacy acts later on. It was so cool seeing him there.
Yeah, and there are so many elements and little story details that happen during the show that I don't think we have enough time to mention all of them.
Oh yeah.
For example, we have the special guests, which included obviously Samuel L. Jackson, SZA, but also Serena Williams.
No, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I had to double take when I saw that. Because I was I thought it was Serena Williams when I saw her. But I was no way they got. I was also after that doubting my reaction to being oh, they got Serena Williams to do it. So I was double taking the whole my reaction because I was oh, it's Serena Williams. First thought. Second, no way they got Serena Williams.
Yeah, it's like Serena Williams, for those who don't know, is. Well, obviously, she's a legendary tennis player, but also she is Drake's ex, and he's been weird about her, like every woman he's ever interacted with. So it is so great to see her at the show. We also saw DJ Mustard.
That was not expected because DJ Mustard is somebody who, as a rap fan, I've known about for a long time. But it's cool to see him kind of even get his spot in the just general household now, the general household kind of fame. That was cool. He's been such a West Coast legend for honestly over a decade because 2010 is honestly more than a decade ago. So and he was doing his thing kind of even before then with guys like YG, Ty Dolla $ign and stuff. So seeing his Schoolboy Q's and a bunch of people, he's a West Coast certified legend.
Ooh, yeah.
So seeing him kind of up on that stage too was so crazy. Mustard being, I mean, also Mustard, the whole him yelling. That was funny. But that was crazy seeing him up there.
Yeah, and I also really loved the set list. I'm a little disappointed they didn't include songs from his earlier career, like Don't Kill My Vibe, but especially considering that wasn't at the pop-outs.
Yeah.
But are there any songs you think got snubbed?
The only one I would say is just he did it at the Super Bowl with the Dr. Dre and them. He didn't do All Right, which is his biggest household song. But other than that,
All Right.
it was.
One last thing. Who do you think shows the next halftime show?
I think Travis Scott should be the next one. I think
I don't think that's likely. Maybe Ariana Grande, but we'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Next up, reminder to the kids. Always be careful about what you post on the internet. Amelia Perez star Carla Sofia Guskin learned that the hard way as she was pulled from the Oscars campaign for the film. The star has been taken out of the campaign due to racist and Islamophobic posts she made on Twitter being unearthed. The film made headlines garnering 13 nominations, which is tied for the most ever, along with the likes of The Godfather, Oppenheimer, and Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. Gaskin is the first openly transgender person to be nominated for Best Actress as well. So we'll have to wait and see until the Oscar ceremony to see if Amelia Perez will make Oscars history. Elijah, how do you feel about the movie?
So I actually just watched it recently to like get prepared for this and like understand everything that's been happening. The movie was weird in like I didn't know it was a musical, which really threw me off when I was watching it. So like the first half hour, I was genuinely like brain like exploding, kind of like I have no idea what's happening here. But I think once you kind of get into the movie, like you know its like general vibe and like what it's doing, you can kind of more understand it. And I think it's been polarizing, very polarizing, because I don't think it may deserve all the hate it's been getting, but also like 13 nominations.
That's a
maybe
lot.
also
Especially
like
for one of those like, there's a lot of trends of like musicals that aren't really being marketed as musicals.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like because it's about like the cartel and like they're like the cartels like bot like killing people, and like this the main person who they're talking about, they play this like who used to be a cartel member but has transitioned to a different life, and like they're using their connections from the cartel to like then become this kind of hero of like the city they're in, because they have kind of information that like no one else would. So it's a lot going on. And then
the movie's sounding more insane the more information I hear about it. And like getting back on track, we were talking about how the actress is like super racist. Like I saw some of the tweets. This is like some insanely racist stuff. Like she made a comment saying that like I am not the same person I was 10 or 20 years ago. Even though like the comments that came out, the tweets she made, those are from like 2019 to 2021. Like, jeez, like that. Imagine like I am not the person I was when I said all that messed up stuff yesterday. Imagine if that's Kanye's response to all of his drama.
Yeah, it sucks because I think you're gonna trace a lot of trend like backlash no matter what kind of in her position and stuff. And it just kind of shows you how intersectional some of these issues are. So it kind of sucks. The movie I think is gonna get backlash because of that also more. So it is what it is.
That's
honestly
unfortunate. Yeah. When we come back from the break, we will be talking about the new Love Hurts movie. Hollywood Headlines will be right back. Love Hurts, the new action comedy flick centered around Valentine's Day, released on February 7th to poor reception from audiences and critics. The film, starring Oscar-winning actors Ke Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose, debuted an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, as well as a 5.4 on IMDb. The reviews from the film heard more, with people saying that the movie, quote, hurts to look at and hurts to sit through, end quote. The film details a realtor named Marvin who suddenly finds his past come back to haunt him as he is forced to decide if he wants to be the bad guy or the good guy. Even though Love Hurts cost $18 million to create, the film only managed to scrape up $5.8 million in box office earnings. Time will tell if the creators of the film decide to create a sequel or decide to leave the first film behind. Elijah, did you see the film?
I did not. This is definitely one of those films. Yeah, like I think why it didn't receive. It's like one of those. Why did it get made? Who is this kind of for? And it's in my main thing I took away from this is just the amount of like money we're kind of like as film creators allowed to sometimes just like we're throwing it here, throwing it there. I saw this is like a similar thing, but like there's a Pharrell biopic that cost $20 million that they just like canceled.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And I love Pharrell.
Yeah.
I think he's such an incredible producer. To see his project get scrapped up like that, and I thought Universal was better than that. Warner, I understand, but because they kind of sucked. But geez, like that, how do studios keep throwing away money like that on films that no one cares about, and when a film actually has a unique premise?
Yeah, I think it's I feel bad for the actors. Ke Huy Quan like had a big after Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's had a big kind of like career rejuvenation, and so it was kind of, and he's an easy like guy to root for. Like he's kind of like one of those like lovable nerds kind of. And a lot of his characters.
I really liked him in Loki. He was like the I forgot the name. The like observer. The like he's like in that little little room where he's like working on stuff, and he's the guy who wrote the book. He's the guy who wrote that book that King the Conqueror gets, and like I love his character in that season. Ke Huy Quan's not Jonathan Majors because But yeah, I love him. I love Ariana DeBose. Sucks they had to be in this movie, but hey, paycheck's a paycheck.
Yep.
The Voice started its 27th season on February 3rd with its second episode being released last Tuesday on NBC. The season features the return of Coach Michael Bublé from season 26, with John Legend and Adam Levine making their long-awaited returns to the competition series. A new coach was added to this season as well, and it was none other than country singer Kelsia Ballerini, who has guest judged on the show in previous seasons. The blind auditions began with Kelsia Ballerini and Adam Levine gaining the most people for their teams, with 5 talented singers each. The third episode of the series will air on NBC on Tuesday, February 18th. Elijah, have you seen this new season?
I have not seen this new season of The Voice. There's a lot of names that I like. I'm a big fan of John Legend's early work.
Yeah, he's a good performer.
Yeah, when he was signed to Good Music, he was one of the best R&B singers. His first album would go listen to like Ordinary People, songs like that. So, and it's just like for TV with some of these like game shows, it's kind of insane what we're like. I think since like the Voice and like all these kind of things, what we're allowed because of them being kind of successful they've opened up the door for just like TV to be like, here's this random twist on a game show that exists, and like I'm like, The Voice is cool.
Yeah, it's like
people get recognized. I think there's the one singer, Fouché, who was like working with Steve Lacy. She got kind of recognized.
Oh, wow, nice.
So it's a platform for singers to get recognized.
Yeah,
but
I think Morgan Wallen is probably like the biggest name. They don't have like, it's not like American Idol where you get like Kelly Clarkson or Adam Lambert. Speaking of Adam, I do have a guilty pleasure for Maroon 5. So
that's fair.
I do like the idea of kind of like to see Adam Levine around, but you know, it's like it's not enough to watch the show. And like they change judges like every season. Like this is a completely different lineup from the last one. Yeah.
Adam Levine's cool. He's on a Kanye song that I really know about him. I was like, and that's the song I really was like, oh, Adam Levine was like. Was with them, like, so, but other than that, these shows, I just think we kind of like, at some point, they're institutions that are on TV that just will never stop unless they wanted to, so it is what it is.
When we come back from the break, we will be playing Name That Coach. Hollywood Headlines will be right back. Welcome back. Since The Voice kicked off its 27th season this month, we are going to test your knowledge of the show with a game we like to call Name That Coach. Okay. Elijah, you have 10 seconds to name the coach who has been on The Voice for the most amount out of seasons. Ready to play?
Yeah.
Okay, is it A, Adam Levine, B, Blake Shelton, C, John Legend, or D, Gwen Stefani? Your 10 seconds starts now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Blake Shelton. I think it's him or Gwen Stefani. I'm gonna go Blake Shelton, but I could be wrong about that.
All right, let's see. The correct answer is B, Blake Shelton.
Let's go.
Congratulations. He's been on the show for a whopping 23 seasons.
Let's go.
Well, that's all we have for tonight's episode. But make sure to come back next week for the latest news in Hollywood. A big thank you to Elijah Vargas for coming on today's show. I'm Michael Kean. Have a great weekend, Millersville.